Hello everyone and welcome back to IMO Reviews. Today we are discussing Nope, directed by Jordan Peele and starring Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, Stephen Yuen, Brandon Perea and Keith David. A brother and sister who run a horse ranch hope to catch the perfect shot of the terrifying UFO that seems to stalk their town. But before we go any further, please do remember to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really does help me and the channel massively, and we thank you if you do. So diving straight into the positives of Nope. My favourite thing about this movie was the sound design. It's very impressive and quite haunting. A lot of this sound design is left to the imagination, and of course, that only achieves the worst possible outcome in your mind, which was super effective to the movie. That was genuinely the stuff of nightmares. Outstandingly crafted. It also does a fantastic job with its tension. There are more than a few occasions where I found myself almost holding my breath with the anxiety. I was quite on edge throughout the majority of this movie. And similar to Us, where it felt like an amalgamation of a few movies, this too feels like an amalgamation of a few movies. The two obvious ones being Close Encounters meets Jaws. And I personally think it did a great job of recreating that Jaws effect. Looking up at the sky and realizing just how vast and dense and deep that is and how many things could be hiding amongst it. Just like how a shark could be hiding in the depths of an ocean. I thought that was so well recognized and brought to life. But sadly, that's pretty much where my pros end for this movie and the cons begin. There is some CGI in this movie that is just straight up bad. And this movie has an exceptional budget. I just don't really understand why that's the level of quality that is. The pacing is incredibly slow and unnecessarily so. There's no real establishment of a plot, so you don't really know where it's going or what we're rooting for. After an hour, I was already losing interest. This is very, very much style over substance. The writing really isn't that good at all, especially in its characterization and its dialogue. I don't care about any of the characters in this movie. They're not particularly likable people, nor are they memorable. They didn't really offer anything. They very much are just chess pieces that Jordan Peele is moving to tell the bigger metaphorical story. And a lot of it is dressed up in snazzy cinematography. But even the cinematography started to get on my nerves. There's way too many cuts to black, to a point I was predicting when it was going to cut to black, even being right on a few occasions. The film is unnecessarily broken up into chapters that are named after something specific, which I can't really talk about. It's kind of spoilerish, but again, completely unnecessary, and it just drags out the film even longer than it needed to be. All of the aspects to this movie feel so unattached to each other. It's quite hard to talk about without going into the spoilers, which I'm going to do once this video ends. Hang around if you have seen the movie to hear my deeper thoughts. But I feel like the movie can't make up its mind whether it wants to tell this metaphorical, profound message, or if it just wants to be a fun summer blockbuster movie. And personally, I wish it just decided to be a fun summer blockbuster movie. And one thing that can't be lobbied against me is I definitely understood the movie. I don't think it was very cleverly written. This feels almost completely on the nose. I definitely got it, and I'm confident of that because as I crafted the theory upon watching it, more things were happening that definitely aligned with it, at least until the ending. There's definitely a lot of holes in this, both in the message and in the story. And as much as I praised the tension, my God, is there a lazy reliance on jump scares, and that's never gonna work for me. I'm really sad to say this, but I'm gonna give Nope a 4 out of 10. Hugely disappointing. Filmed wonderfully, but what a half-cooked idea. It's not fully realised. It needs another go-over in the draft room. It's running before it can walk. The message isn't even that important, and it's having a very biased argument as well. Yeah, unfortunately, I was just bored by this. Thank you for watching this review. Please do hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and please do hit the comment section as well. Have you seen Nope? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section below. Stick around if you would like to hear me talk about some of the spoilers, but if not, take care. I look forward to seeing you on the next review. Okay, spoiler time. My understanding of the movie Nope is that it is discussing the consumption of spectacle. The human nature to be amazed when watching a bear riding a unicycle, when it's completely unnatural, without seeing any of the threat potentially attached. And I do think the movie is speaking in a very broad sense of the word. You can view the spectacle as something as recent as the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case, a complete garbage fire situation that we as a society completely clung to, when it was actually a very problematic situation for two human beings that we shouldn't really have been privy to. And when I say the movie is on the nose, people are sucked up into it, grinded up, and spat back out. And those who don't look at it or buy into it survive. And the most on the nose thing, and the biggest laugh I got from the movie, was that the alien quite literally looks like a giant flying butthole. What a great representation of these awful things in society that we seem so attracted to. It's an on the nose and very crass metaphor that I personally think is done on purpose. But the movie goes against itself entirely by rewarding Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya's characters upon getting that Oprah shot of the alien, suggesting they're going to get rich and famous from it, having learnt absolutely nothing from what we've established in the movie. If anything, they shouldn't have cared about getting the shot, only that the alien is defeated and that they are safe and can continue their lives happily. I also think the movie forgets the fact that people don't always have a say. You can fall upon hard times and find yourself incredibly desperate, working a job that you don't moralistically agree with, but something's got to line your pocket and put some food on your table. The movie does act like all human beings are stupid and don't have anything better to do, nor do they know any better, when that frankly just isn't the case. And what is annoying is I think the movie can be very easily fixed. Steven Yuen should have been the main character of the film. He has the interesting story, this whole thing with the ape on the TV show that went mental and killed a lot of people, and then he hasn't yet learnt that lesson and is now trying to do the exact same thing with the alien, and of course it all goes wrong. That actually comes full circle. That actually makes sense and fits the bigger message. And I think all of that's fine, but make that the focus at the beginning. You don't need to introduce Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer quite so heavily yet. They should have been the side characters. Follow Steven Yeun up to his point. Once Steven Yeun's character is done and dusted, and rightfully so, Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya's characters take over, and it becomes about capturing the perfect shot. Because then you have the moralistic argument of whether or not Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya are going to repeat the exact same mistake, or if they're going to learn from it. I mean, if you're asking me, the whole thing with the ape could have been its own movie, and probably a better movie, actually. That was some of my favourite parts of the movie, which sounds messed up, but it was because it was so intense and had me dead on the edge of my seat. Yeah, that's me having a little mini rant. I had to get it out. I didn't really want to do a full-length breakdown of this one because I didn't really enjoy it, but I also needed to speak about it in depth. So thank you for watching this review. If you are still watching, take care, and I'll see you on the next one.